Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us is Jackie Stone. She's the Chief Marketing Officer with LiveXLive, a Nasdaq-listed company, to discuss the way we consume and participate in entertainment and how that's going to evolve with COVID-19. Jackie, it's great to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining me on Trade Talks. And tell us a bit about LiveXLive.
Oh, sure. Thanks, Jill, for having me. So LiveXLive is an end-to-end music platform, and it's everything from audio in the terms of radio, playlists, hosts, DJs, experts, video, which we do live streaming as well as video on demand. And then we also have live events and festivals. We recently acquired a company called React Presents and Spring Awakening, which are two of the biggest Midwest companies in that space. We also now have podcasts. As of this morning, we acquired Podcast One. So we'll fold Podcast One into LiveXLive to become really the largest end-to-end music platform.
Well, that's exciting. Congratulations on the acquisition. And let's talk about the impact of COVID-19 on the business and the industry in general. It sounds as if you are well positioned for our new realities. We work from home and we have social distancing in place.
Yeah, so we're definitely all going through a difficult time for sure. But as people are staying home more and more, I think two things happened. One is from an industry perspective, unfortunately, the industry of touring and album releases and getting into that live environment changed truly overnight. And what that ended up happening is, even though LiveXLive has been around for 4.5 years and we've been doing live streaming that entire time, we ended up in a place where artists and fans alike wanted that connection. So for us in this new reality, we ended up really moving very quickly to create opportunities for artists to live stream in a social distancing way and in a safe way. So whether it was from their living room, the rooftop, their backyard, their pool, and we've been doing that really since the minute the touring and concerts had shut off. We started off with LiveXLive Presents, which are about an hour each from the artist's home. And we've sent out these kits, or we've taught the artist exactly how to produce it, or we've even had some of our own editors go out and shoot the actual live presentation, obviously in a social distance environment. And we were always careful. But our real big win was a couple of weekends ago when we did Music Lives, and we had over 100 artists from around the world. Our hosts were from around the world, and we ended up doing 51 hours of straight live music over the weekend. And what's really interesting is, as people are sitting home, the devices in which they're consuming the content have really changed. So what used to be heavy in-car and mobile has now switched to the computer, the laptops, and your television. So we've seen a huge increase in consumption on our OTT, because what better way to sit down in your living room and watch live music than on your, TV versus on your phone. Although we do have consumption still on the phone, but during this crisis specifically, it's gone to OTT. So we've connected the fans with their favorite artists. We've connected artists with their fans. On top of it, we also helped raise money for Music Cares. And that was really important to us, because what we wanted to make sure is that we were helping the industry. During this crisis that we're all in, there's a lot of people, as we heard the numbers released this morning, who are out of work. And so Music Cares helps everybody in the industry. And so it's the lighting guy and gal, it's the makeup, it's the hair, it's the sound. It's all those other things that we don't see, and those people literally lost their jobs overnight. So Music Lives was all about giving back to the industry. On top of it, what we've tried to do during this time is provide monetization for artists. It's really important that they have the ability to supplement and recreate their income. When you do a tour, you have ticket sales, you have merch sales, you have opportunity to make that kind of money. But now that you can't do that live environment or tour. So what we're going to have and launch next week are pay-per-view models. So we can have the artist perform on our platform, and their fans can buy a ticket either for one show or multi-shows. We'll also enable tipping. So this way, this gives the artist the ability for their fans to contribute some kind of money. It doesn't always have to be at the highest level. And then last but not least, we're putting together what we call digital tours. So similar to a regular tour, except all the boundaries are broken. And this boundary will allow the artist to either decide that they want to geo-block or they want to gate it with a limited number of people. So one tour might be for 5,000 people and we do it 4 times. Sometimes it can even be bigger than a stadium and we can have 1 million people there. So we're really looking at it from an industry perspective, and we want to be the platform that helps artists, not just during COVID, but even after. And I think one of the things that we'll see change after COVID is I do not think the live stream portion will go away. And even if you do decide to play at Madison Square Garden, there's only a limited number of seats in the garden, but you will then be able to reach a larger audience with some version of live streaming. And I think people have become very accustomed to all the new technologies that have enabled us to keep going every single day, whether, it's looking at, logging into Live by Live and being able to see a live show, or we have digital meet and greets where you'll be able to, instead of go quote unquote backstage, you'll have a digital meet and greet where the artist will be able to call you on your phone and do a video call with you, which, I think that's going to stay here forever.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. And I remember the concert that you had put out with over 51 hours of content, because it was one of the first nicer weekends that we had in New Jersey. And on my virtual happy hour with my girlfriends that Saturday night, we were listening to it and totally blown away. But it's encouraging to hear that streaming and these virtual ways of meeting with your fans will stay around, because I think it also levels the playing field and the accessibility for a lot of fans that might not have the means to travel to a particular city, or there's just not enough seats to supply all that demand that's out there. So I think it really levels the playing field, and it's a win-win for both the artists and their fans to have more accessibility, more of an authentic experience, and level that playing field.
And I would say you're 100% right. We started out as Live by Live, being that platform that, if you couldn't get to Rock in Rio, because we streamed from around the world in 179 countries. So if you couldn't get to Rock in Rio for whatever reason, whether it was monetary, you had to work, you have a family, but your favorite artists and your favorite bands are playing, that was always Live by Live's value prop, is that, hey, you don't have to be all the way in Lisbon to watch it right now, or vice versa. When we streamed EDC in Las Vegas, which has multi-stages, if you're sitting at the festival and you're at one stage, but your second favorite or third favorite DJ is spinning at the stage 7, the best part about it was you can open up your phone while you were standing on the grounds and you would be able to see that second and third stage. But to your point now, I think there's, live events is going to take a while to come back, without a doubt, right? Like, we have to all be very real and honest that that's not going to come back tomorrow when we quote unquote open. So I think, for a while there will be this new connection that allows us to participate in live. And even if live, we've been toying with, okay, so if we did, 15% of the folks that are allowed in a small theater, so we can still keep social distance, but there's a lot more other folks who want to attend or see in a safe environment, we'll do those kind of shows coming down the pipe. And that's what we're talking to artists about now.
All right. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us on Trade Talks. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.